Hi, Felicia here. Welcome to Drops. In the last video, we played a game, and that's the Drops game. It's the Describe It session, and it helps us to really understand the ways you can use to describe person or describe things about them. And in this video, we'll be looking at some of those sentences or phrases, and we'll be taking a deeper look into what makes up those sentences. So we'll be explaining them, and then we'll be listening to how it is pronounced, that we also pronounce it, and we'll try to understand the different pronunciations of those words as well. So let's get going. So this is describe a person. It's the first part of the Drops Voyage. It's the language Voyage in that app. So if you don't have it, try to download it and then play the game as well. Or you can watch the previous video where I played the game. So describe a person simply means Saramu Miosahada. Saramu Miosahada. So if you want to pronounce it in Korean, you will say Saramu Miosahada. So the first sentence we'll learn here is Na는 Temoria, which means I'm bored. The Koreans have a formal and informal way of pronouncing things, and the formal or polite way of pronouncing I'm bored is simply to say 저는 때물이입니다. So if I say 저는 때물이입니다, it simply means 나는 때물이야. But the difference is that I use more politeness to pronounce it when using 저는 때물이입니다, whereas the 나는 때물이야 is a casual way of doing it. So, and the first part 저는 or 나는 is the same thing. It just means hi or me. It depends on the politeness you want to use. 나는 it's simply casual or informal settings, while 저는 is used in formal settings. 때물이입니다. It's also, just like I've said, means to be bored, and then it shows politeness. So to break down those words, it has two parts, temori, and the second part, imnida. So temori means bald-headed. Te there is big or large. Mori means head. Ibnida, ida, it comes from the verb ida. Ida means is, or to be, or her. So, one of the things you would do to really help you understand some of the things we are talking about here is to try and understand the Korean alphabet, Hangul. So when you do, you will be able to pronounce some of these words as well. So Demoria, just like we've said, means to be bald. So it shows familiarity, and it is a casual way to say it. The next one is 나는 키가 작아. 나는 키가 작아. Let's listen to the pronunciation.
나는 키가 작아.
So 나는 키가 작아. It means I'm short, and then the polite way of saying it is 저는 키가 작아요. 저는 키가 작아요. 키가, which has it has two parts, ki and ga. Ki in most cases is a way to talk about someone's stature as either tall or short, and ga there is a way to say that person's height, is a marker. It marks the subject. Kiga, ki, the person's height, that height. Now, chagayo, which means to be short, it comes from the word chagta. That's an unconjugated form of a verb. The verb chagta means to be short in the real sense, and when you want to conjugate it, you remove the da at the end of it and you replace it with hayo, so which is a polite way of saying it, and in the present tense that means chagayo, which means to be short. And then therefore kiga chaga shows familiarity, it is casual. So if I say kiga chaga, or I say kiga chagayo, I'm saying the same thing, but both means I'm short, but the difference in formality or politeness is quite different. The next one is Genun Gase Nunu Kajoso. Genun Gase Nunu Kajoso. Let's listen to that pronunciation.
그는 갈색 눈을 가졌어.
그는 갈색 눈을 가졌어. So it means he has brown eyes. And then the polite way of actually saying that is 그는 갈색 눈을 가지고 있어요. Now, that may seem complex, but it's a polite way to really say it. But if you are in a more casual setting, you can say 그는 갈색 눈을 가졌어. Now, 그는 there, that first part means he, and then 갈색 means brown. When you hear things like 갈색, 파란색, 검은색, those are ways they pronounce colors. Iron색 is white, insect, that's silver. So when you hear those, it means they're referring to colors. And then nun means eyes. Nun itself is eye, where that sound, it's a particle that qualifies the object. It tells you that this person's high. Now, the next one is kajigo isoyo. Kajigo comes from the word kajida. It means to possess or to have something. And isoyo is sumida. Isoyo means to be or to have or has something. So that's why they use it together. We have kajigo isoyo, or kajigo isumida, or kajigo iso. So it means to possess something, and kajigo or kajida is a verb, and when you want to conjugate it, you remove the da, you add go isoyo. So kajioso is the past tense of kajida, which means had in this context. So in other words, if I say gının gase nunu kajioso, gase nunu means brown eyes, kajioso means had. So brown eyes had. So don't be confused about the arrangement of the words. So instead of SVO, we have SOV, which means subject, object, verb, instead of subject, verb, object. So that's the way Koreans pronounce things. So gının, gase nının, that's the object, kajioso, that's the verb there. So he has brown eyes. Then the next one is gının moriga giro. Let's listen to how that is pronounced.
그는 머리가 길어.
So gının moriga giro simply means he has long hair. And to pronounce that in the former settings, it means gının gimoriri kajigo isoyo. You remember kajigo? Now we are saying it again. So let's talk about gının moriga giro itself. Gunun, we've talked in the last session that it means E. Moriga. Moriga, if you remember, we mentioned Ga previously. Ga means that person's thing or that thing. It helps, it's a particle. So when you now say Moriga, it means that here. So here in this case, it means the ear is or is ear. So Giro means lung. Now let's look at the formal or polite way of saying Gunun Moriga Giro. It means Gunun Jin Moriri Gajigo Isoyo. So Jin there is the Giro. It means lung. And when you translate it, that's when you turn it into Giro. Now in this case we are using Jin. So Morire means Mori. And if you remember, Mori means head. And in this case it can also mean hair. And the same thing goes for Kajigo Isoyo. We've described that to be to possess something. So if you want to say he has long hair, you will say Gunun Moriga Giro. That's the casual way of doing it. Then we have Gunun Jim Moriri Kajigo Isoyo, polite way of saying it. The next on the list is Gunun Gunyaboda Oreo. Gunun Gunyaboda Oreo. Let's look at how that is pronounced by native speakers.
그는 그녀보다 어려.
Gunun Gunyaboda Oreo, which means he is younger than her. Gunun Gunyaboda Oreo is younger than her. Gunun Gunyaboda Do Oreo Yo is a polite way of saying it. So let's pronounce that again. Gunun Gunyaboda Do Oreo Yo. So Gunun, as we've said, means here. Gunyan, Gunyanun or Gunyan means she or her. So Gunyaboda, Boda there means than her. So Gunyan, like we have said, it means she or her, and Boda means than. So when you say Gunyan Boda, you are saying than her. Then Do. Do means more. Why Oreo means young. It comes from Oreo Yun, Oreo Hyun, which means young. So it's the adjective stem. And then in this case we can omit the when it's clear from the context that you are talking in the sense that someone is younger. You don't need to add the more again. So the politeness actually may not be necessary. So you can simply say Gunun Gunyaboda Oreo. So let's go to the next one. The next one is Gunyanun Moriga Chaba. Let's look at how the natives pronounce it.
그녀는 머리가 짧아.
This means she has short hair. Gunyanun Moriga Chaba. To pronounce it in a formal or polite way, you will say Gunyanun Jabun Morire Gajigo Isoyo. Gunyanun Jabun Morire Gajigo Isoyo, which means she has short hair. Now let's dissect different parts of that. Gunyanun means she. If you remember the last time we mentioned Gunyanun, Gunyanboda. So Gunyanun now means she. The nun there is a marker that helps to say she. Now Jabun or Jaba means short. Jaoba, Jagda. You can remember now. Jaoba, Jaobun. It means short. Then Mori or Mori, we've described head, hair, re, marker. Moriga, here is or her hair. Remember the last time we said Moriga. So Moriga, here is here or her hair. Now Kajigo is Oyo, to have, to possess something or has. So Gyanan Moriga Jaba is a casual way to say she has short hair. Don't forget, Gyanan means she. Jaba means short, to be short. Moriga here. Gyanan she. Moriga are here. Jaba short. The next one is Gyanan Kiga Ko. So now let me quickly talk about this. Let's listen to how the natives will pronounce this.
그녀는 키가 커.
So Gyanan Kiga Ko means she is tall. So the polite way to say this would be Gyanan Kiga Kuda. You know, Chagda means short. Kuda means tall. So Gyanan Kiga Kuda. If you remember, Kiga is a way to talk about someone's height. And then Kuda or Ko means tall. So when you shorten it or you want to pronounce it casually, you say Ko. So Gyanan Kiga Ko is a casual way to say she is tall. The next one is Urinon Chimoya. So let's listen to the native speaker.
우리는 직모야.
This means we have straight hair. The polite way of saying this is Urinon Gudun Morire Kajigo Isoyo. Urinon means we or horse. Godun means straight and is used mostly to describe hair. Morire, Mori, if you remember, we have Mori, which could mean hair or head. Kajigo Isoyo means to have or to possess something. If you remember, we described Kajida, which is conjugated to be Kajigo Isoyo. So Urinun Chimoya is a casual way or a straightforward way of saying that we have straight hair. The next one is Nanan Kuboda Naiga Mana. Let's listen to the native speaker.
나는 그보다 나이가 많아.
나는 그보다 나이가 많아, which means I'm older than him. 그, from our last conversation, you must have seen that 그는 means he. So when we use it in this case, 그보다, and you remember we also talk about 보다, which is a way to describe how someone is older or shorter than him. So I'm older than him. 나는 means I or me. 그보다 than him. 그 him 보다 than. 나이가 is a way to talk about someone's age. 나이가, age is, or my age. 많아, more or older. So when I say 나는 그보다 나이가 많아, I'm saying I'm older than him. The next one is 나이는 곱수모리야. Let's listen to the native speaker.
너희는 곱슬머리야.
너희는 곱슬머리야. This means you all have curly hair. The polite way of saying this is 너희들은 곱슬머리에 가지고 있어. This means neither is you all. So you remember they, 그들은. If you want to say we, 우리는. If you want to say they, you say 그들은. And if you want to say you all, you will say neither. So you all or you guys, neither. So curly hair, 곱슬머리 means curly hair. You can see mori there. Curly hair or wavy hair means 곱슬. 머리 hair. So 가지고 있어 is a way to say to have or to possess something. So if you want to say it in a more casual way, you will say 너희는 곱슬머리야, which means you all have curly hair. The next one here is 그들은 10대야. You know, I mentioned this the last time. 그들은 10대야. 그들은 means they. Sheep. The Korean numbers have sheep. Sheep is 10. So 10대야 means teenagers. So if I say 10대야 or 10대이다, it means teenager. So politeness in this case would mean 그들은 10대들이다. 그들은 10대들이다, which means they are teenagers. So teenagers mean 10대들이다. 10대 means teenage. 들이다 is a plural way to indicate multi people. So 10대야 is a more casual way of saying teenager. They are teenagers. So let's recap the describe a person session. So to recap, I will ask you a question and you tell me what it means in English. So what is 나는 대머리야? So you can answer from your hand. If you got it, give a thumbs up, and if you don't, do a recap and try to learn and understand it before you do this. So 나는 대머리야. What's that? I'm bored. 나는 키가 작아. If you remember, 나는 high, 키가 out, a person is tall or short. 작다 means short. So 나는 키가 작아 means I'm short. 그는 가세는 가졌어. 갈색 means color, a color, brown color. 너는 means eyes. 가졌어, what is that? 가지고, to have or to possess. So 그는 he has brown eyes. 그는 머리가 길어. 그는 머리가 길어. 그는 he 머리가 head or hair. 길어, chin from chin, which means long. He has long hair. 그는 그녀보다 어려. 그는 이 그녀보다, 그녀 she or her, 보다 than, 어려, what's that? Young. So he is younger than her. 그는 그녀보다 어려. is younger than her. The next one, Gayanun Moriga Jaba. Gayanun she Moriga here. So, and Java, what's Java? Java means short. Jada, Java. So she has short hair. Next one, Guyano, Kiga Ko. Kiga, someone's stature. Ko means Kuda, which means tall. Guyano, Kiga Ko, she's tall. Urinun Chimoya. Urinun Chimoya. Chin Moya. So this we have straight here. Then we have Nanan Kuboda Naiga Mana. So don't forget Dan Boda Kuboda than him. Naiga H than him. So this simply means Amana, that's more. Nanan high. Kuboda him than him H. So I'm older than him. Nainun Kapsumoria. Nainun Kapsumoria. That's you haul. Kapsu Koili Moria here. You all have coily here. So that's you all have coily here. Kudurun Shibdaya. Kudurun Shibdaya means they had teenagers. They had teenagers. So they had teenagers. I hope you understand this. If you do, thumbs up. If you don't, go back, do a recap till you get it, and then take this quiz session. So see you in the next video. Thank you.